Well, good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to At Lafayette Live for Monday, March 16th, 2026. I would ask you how you are enjoying this spring day, but if you look outside and you can see the window here, if I were to open that up, you would see snow flurries and cold. Not the 60 degrees that we were seeing, what was it, just yesterday? I want my spring back. I know better. I shouldn't have said anything last week about I don't think we're going to see any more snow because here we are exactly a week later. Mea culpa. It's all my fault. Yes, I can control the weather. Uh-huh. Sure. It's cold outside, but it looks like the stretch of weather is going to warm up starting on about Wednesday. Still get a little chilly at night, but high or lows during the day much more in the 50s as opposed to the teens and 20s. So anyway, welcome. Not here to do a weather show. We leave that to other people in the community who do such a great job with that. So if you don't know, I'm Jeff Gooch with the Russell Company, powered by At Properties, and I'd love to be your local Lafayette real estate resource of choice. And every Monday, we gather together here on At Lafayette Live on the Lafayette Reel to talk about the Greater Lafayette area, talk about development news, things that matter to people that live in the community. We talk about fun things to do in the area. We talk about things to do in the region. We talk about housing and real estate. Quite often we go on some fun home tours. And this week we've got a little bit of all of the above. We've got very much some news that's maybe not exactly development related news, but I would actually say yes it is. We've got some big news coming out of West Lafayette School Corporation, and we also have some pretty big news coming out of the Tippecanoe School Corporation. And we have some news from GE Aviation, and we're going to talk about some really fun things to do here in the area as it is warming up outside that window. Yeah, I wish it was warming up outside there. But we're going to talk about some fun things that I and our family enjoy doing this summer. We're going to talk a little bit about lake life. And we're going to take some tours of some lake homes that are for sale right now here in the Greater Lafayette area. So thank you again so much for joining us. In the chat, drop where you are watching from, and I will keep up when I can. My chat window has actually disappeared on me. Let me see if I can bring that up before I get going here this evening. There it is. Oh. Oh, I see. I docked it. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I don't under two cats, Fahad. I'm not sure. Oh dear. The world has gone sideways. I kicked something under my desk. I got to look real quick. I kicked a power strip. I gotta do something about that. That was heartrending for just a second. Wasn't sure if we're gonna continue or not. Not sure where my cats are. I've got the door to the studio closed. Yeah, but they're probably actually up in bed snuggling and staying warm together. So, anywho, drop in the chat where you're watching from. If it's here in the Greater Lafayette area, perhaps you're watching in Lafayette or West Lafayette, Tippecanoe County, White County, Fountain County, even down anywhere in Indiana, Indianapolis. Got some regular viewers from California and Florida, where I'm guessing it is warmer there than it is here today. But always fun to see where people are watching from. Thank you for spending your Monday evening with me. All right, let's get started here. So, as a realtor here in the Greater Lafayette area, spent a lot of time talking to folks like you, clients, all sorts of people about schools. You better believe that schools are often foremost on the mind of people looking to move into the area or make a move within the area from one place to another. And if you know anything about schools in West Lafayette, It is that, or you know anything about schools in the Greater Lafayette area, I should say, it is that West Lafayette is a top-rated school. Go out and do all of your own research. Go look at great schools and all of that. They're known for academic excellence. They've actually got some great extracurricular programs as well. But they're a small district that is landlocked, and a state law change this last session has changed the field for how transfer students work in the West Lafayette School Corporation. Indeed, how changes how transfer students work statewide. And it used to be that up until this change of law, that uh, the West Lafayette School Corporation could accept transfer students from the large surrounding school corporation, the Tippecanoe School Corporation, and the tax-based funding would follow that student. That is no longer the case. And so the West Lafayette School Board has been having to determine how they are going to go forward. And the debate's been raging about balancing the needs of the budget and fiscal responsibility and the needs of the students and the schools, and having a certain critical mass for some programs to work. And because they are a landlocked small district, that some of those programs indeed do rely on transfer students. And so this has been a lot of back and forth over the last couple of months as they have juggled and debated what to do amongst the school board and the superintendent, and they have come to a conclusion. And the conclusion is that they're going to have a lottery system for transfer students. And that lottery system is going to give priority to students who are already in the schools, to siblings of those students, and then also sons and daughters of staff members of the school corporations. So if you want to transfer in, if you want to attend West Lafayette, the case now is that if you want to do so, the only surefire way is to live in the district, which certainly gets into, you know, live where you want to live. I don't have a great analogy for this one ready, but it used to be that, oh, well, maybe we'll live, you know, just over the line in this neighborhood and then transfer into the West Lafayette schools. That's no longer a guarantee that that's going to happen. Like I said, they're going to open up a lottery, and it is going to be building and grade level based as to how many students they accept every year. And they're giving, like I said, they're giving priority to siblings of students that are already transferred into the district, and to sons and daughters of staff members that meet certain thresholds of finances, of pay in the district. So that is, of course, to keep, you know, somebody working, you know, just a couple hours a year to get that transfer status. And that's how they're going to work it. The lottery is going to be yearly, and the current number of students that is of transfer seats is 125, and that is across the entire district. So that is K through 12, the entire thing. And if you have an older student and you're not already in the district, basically you're not getting in. Most of the capacity is in the lower grades. So the total capacity of the grades are 155 in kindergarten. First and second grade have a capacity of 171 each. Goes to 179 in third and fourth, 186 in fifth and sixth grade, and then 192 students total capacity each from seventh grade through 12th grade. But currently open seats, and so what they're doing here is they're taking into account the residents who are going to take capacity out of those grade levels, you know, people that live in the school corporation boundaries, and they're going to seat them first, and then whatever is left over is available to the lottery. So here are the numbers. Sit down for this. Kindergarten has 10 available seats. First grade has 24. Second grade has 21. Third grade has 14. Fourth grade, 2. Only 1 seat available in fifth grade. Sixth grade has 18. Seventh grade has 25. Those are the 2 of the grades with the most availability. Eighth grade has no availability. Ninth grade, 2 seats. 10th grade, 7 seats. 11th grade, 0 seats. 12th grade, 1 seat. I would question why you're transferring in a 12th grader for the first time. So those are the caps. 2,379 total students available. 125 of those seats are available, but that is spread across all of the grade levels. So now if you want to attend the West Lafayette School Corporation, you have to live in the West Lafayette School Corporation or get lucky in a lottery. Now, if you have a fifth grader that's transferring in and you enter the lottery and 10 people enter, guess what? 9 of you are not winning. Now, if you have a first grader and 10 people enter the lottery, you can all get in because there are 24 seats. Now, how's that going to play out after the first round of the lottery? I don't know. I do know that when I talk to my buyers, to my clients, that I'm going to be talking about if you want to live in the West Lafayette School Corporation, you need to buy in the West Lafayette School Corporation. And then I'm also going to encourage you to go do your own research and to discover that all of the school corporations in the Lafayette area, indeed, I believe, are excellent in their own ways. The Tippecanoe School Corporation is everything that is not Lafayette and West Lafayette. And then, of course, we've talked about West Lafayette. And then the Lafayette School Corporation is all of, well, not all of, but most of Lafayette. And they all have their strengths and their weaknesses. West Lafayette, known for really rigorous, strong academics. But Tippecanoe School Corporation, while it has grown a lot over the last decade or two, has also been known for rigorous, strong college prep curriculum. And you know what? The Lafayette School Corporation and Lafayette Jeff has great programs, co-curricular programs, extracurricular programs, and as well as having some strong academics of their own. Again, go do your own research, but there are lots of great schools in the area. So also, if you're sweating, oh, I thought I was going to get into West Lafayette School Corporation, I don't think it's the end of the world, but what do you think? Let me know in the chat. I'll try to check in as I can, and if you want to stay up to date on what's going on with the lottery, I think April timeframe is the time frame we're going to start evaluating for the next year. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss a minute of all the content here on the Lafayette Reel. And then we are going to move on to some development news. You hear me talk a lot about our strong industrial base, manufacturing base of our economy here in the Greater Lafayette area. And indeed, this is news that backs this up. GE Aviation has a plant here in town where they manufacture the LEAP engines that go in 737 MAX aircraft from Boeing and Airbus A320 aircraft. And GE announced that they're investing $1 billion across their manufacturing plants, and 7 million of that is coming to the Lafayette plant for equipment and facility upgrades because they need to increase capacity to deliver these engines. So that is no small thing. There's a plant that's sitting there. You drive around town and you see all of these plants, and it just kind of becomes the background noise, if you will. There are all these just buildings sitting there, and they're just like chugging along, doing whatever it is that they're doing. But indeed, no, they're actually being improved all of the time. This is not the first bit of news, nor is it the last bit of news that we'll talk about this year about our manufacturing base here in the Lafayette area being improved. And sometimes it's the groundbreaking of brand new facilities, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but sometimes it's about, major corporations investing, millions and tens of million dollars into existing facilities to keep them vibrant and contributing to their bottom lines, of course, but also to our local economy. So I think that is very good news. And if you think it's good news, you should hit the like and subscribe button. Next bit of news and that I wanted to chat about here tonight is also school related, much like our first story. The Tippecanoe School Corporation has announced renovations and expansions at their two high school properties, at McCutcheon High School on the south side and at Harrison High School on the north side. They are going to put out bids for these projects later this spring. They're going to total about $25 million of work. And we're going to go into detail here and talk a little bit about what some of this work is. But before we really dig into that, I also just wanted to kind of make the comment that I hear, you hear me talk a lot about development in the area, new employers coming to the area, and maybe more importantly, at least for me maybe, new housing, new neighborhoods, new developers coming to the area. And a lot of times we hear pushback, I hear pushback, or maybe it's just I notice the pushback on, how is the community going to absorb this, oftentimes with a focus on the schools. And I will tell you that I have always heard the Tippecanoe School Corporation and their superintendent, Scott Handback, say, we have the capacity, we're prepared for the future. These developers that are coming, they talk to us, we know what's going on. And they're ready for this. And sometimes we have the capacity means that there's already, capacity in place. The buildings are ready to receive students. But sometimes it means, hey, we've got some infrastructure in place that needs to be built out and developed. Sometimes it means we've got some plans and now we're going to go execute these plans. And this is a case of, I think, a little bit of both of those second two. There's some space that needs to be built out. And then there's some big scale plans that are on the drawing board that now will be executed to make way for this new development that's coming to the area so that we can support the development that's coming and all the houses that are coming. So here are the renovations that are going on. So first off, we're going to start with the bigger of the two, I think, down at McCutcheon High School. They're going to build a new athletics facility off of the campus just to the southwest of the campus that is going to move tennis courts and concession stands to make room for new buildings. And then in a second phase might have more baseball fields, soccer field, and athletic locker rooms. That's the word I'm looking for. So just to kind of show you what it is that we're talking about here, this is that was supposed to be an image there. It was clearly not. Interesting. Stand by as I deal with this technical difficulty. This tested just fine in testing, and of course it's not now. All right, let's see. Let's go that one. That is the correct screen if you're wondering, but it is not what is on the screen. And I wouldn't spend so much time on this, but the next couple of things that I want to talk about. Sorry, thanks for your patience, guys. apologize for this. Because if I can't figure this out, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. Talk amongst yourselves for just a moment here. Aha, I win. Sorry about that, guys. I really appreciate your patience. I had no idea what caused that. Let's try this again. So, but let's go to the right. Okay. So here's McCutcheon High School, and the open land for this new facility is down here to the southwest of the school. Thank you for your patience. I know that map was not super important, but that screen's going to become super important relatively soon. So they're gonna do that because that's going to open up some space on the campus. And then they're also going to renovate and rearrange some classrooms inside, some technical education, family consumer sciences, special ed, and some career sciences. And then, like I said, moving these athletic facilities is kind of a step one into opening up some land. So they're gonna open up the land and renovate and rework some space that is currently in the building, and then with a look towards the future, and they haven't said, the whens or the how muches or the whys or the whys. I mean, the district's expanding. The wheres or the hows about how things are going to, build up there, but that will make room for them. And there's kind of a little bit of a precedent for this, maybe not in the relocation of facilities, but in the expansion of the building based on what they have done with Harrison in the past. And then up on the north side at Harrison, they're going to work on the school cafeteria. They're going to renovate the kitchen and the serving area. And the hope is that they'll be able to go down from 5 lunches down to 4. So hopefully that continues to improve the situation at the schools. I went to a high school that had 5, 6 lunches. And I tell you what, the people that had lunch early in the day, it was absolutely crazy. I'm going to fix my audio here, I hope. It's on. All right, I'm just all sorts of technical problems today. I appreciate your patience, guys. Hey, I think that did it. So for those of you geeks out there, the big condenser microphone in front of me takes phantom power, and the phantom power was on, but I turned it off and back on, and apparently we're back. So anyway, that is the most disjointed story that I think I have ever had here on At Lafayette Live. So Thank you for your patience there. But long story short, down at McCutcheon High School, the school corporation, the Tippecanoe School Corporation, is going to move some athletics facilities off the campus to some land to the southwest of the school, and then renovate some spaces that currently exist in the school. And then at Harrison High School, they are going to work on the kitchen and serving areas, as well as some work on the Harrison football stadium. But as they continue to expand, the superintendent, Scott Handback, has said that they've got this land at McCutcheon that they're going to move some more facilities over time to free up more space on the campus, and that they already own some land, 99 acres, on the Harrison campus that extend from the south of Harrison and then down and over to County Road 500 North, where they'll start moving some of the athletic facilities down there. And he is on the record as saying that they will expand as the need arises, especially on the north side with Harrison High School, as SK Hynix comes to town, and we see how many of these we see as these 1,000 jobs start phasing in, how many of those people that take those jobs have families that have school-age kids that need space, and then the development that's going to come along with that, because SK Hynix in many ways it's certainly not the first piece of the puzzle to fall, but it is a pretty big piece of the puzzle to fall, where we're going to see more and more development coming along with that. And not that I want to turn every story into an SK Hynix story, but indeed that is the way it is. So stay tuned for more. Hit the like and subscribe button. Do all of the things. Next up, we're going to move off to some thoughts of summer with the cold snow outside. Lake life. If I say lake life here in the Greater Lafayette area, I think a great many people think of Lake Freeman and Lake Schaefer, just a little north of us in White County. From where I live, the first Lake Freeman is a 10 to 15 minute drive, call it a 12-minute drive from my house. And then continuing on up is Lake Schaefer, which is where Indiana Beach is. These are two lakes that are creating by the damming of the Tippecanoe River. There is, of course, all of the things that you think of when it comes to summer and lake life up there. There's kind of the stereotypical idea of lake life, but there are some people that go up there and have summer cottages. But there is certainly a large population of people who live full-time on the lakes. There is Indiana Beach. There is all sorts of things to do up there. But two of my favorite things to do are the drive-in movie theater, and this is the Lakeshore Lakeshore Drive-In, and Indiana Beach. And so I just want to talk about both of those a little bit here. So first off, I guess let's put both on a map here. So I'll go to map view and just pop in. See how this goes tonight. There we go. Here we are down here in Lafayette, West Lafayette, down this way. And if I just zoom out a little bit, okay, maybe a lot of bit. Here is Lake Freeman, and here is Lake Schaefer. And just to kind of give you an idea of drive time, I'm going to go from Stewart Center in the middle of Purdue campus to, let's go Lakeshore Drive-In. 28 miles, 45 minutes. So really not that terribly far. But If you're a movie buff like me, if you just enjoy, if you've never been to a drive-in theater, this is exactly what it sounds like. It is the old school. Pull your car in. You drive in, and you listen to the movie on your radio. You watch it on the big screen. It is just an absolutely fantastic place to watch a movie. And the great thing is they still do a double header. So there are two screens, and each screen plays two movies. So for one price per person, you get two movies. And if you time it just right, sometimes if you want to see movie one on screen one and movie two on screen two, you can even move between the screens. But it's just a whole lot of fun, and if you've never ever been there, I highly, highly recommend it. I was trying to see if I could get Google Maps to kind of show us a picture of it. So not exactly, but here's the here's the outside. So this is the main screen here. So you actually drive in. And then let's see here. I just kind of thought this would be a fun one to talk about. Here, we'll browse some photos here. After I reset capture again, I know what button to press now. There it is. So you can see that's the screen. Here's a daytime shot. So you literally pull up in your car and watch. And if you've got a truck, car, SUV, you can. A lot of people, and this is what we do, we pull up backwards, flip up our tailgate, and get out the blanket. I bring a stereo and enjoy a movie. They have a fantastic concession stand inside with all sorts of food. They have hamburgers and cheeseburgers and pretzels and hot dogs and all of the movie food that you would expect. And it is just such a fun summer activity. I highly, highly recommend it. I mean, if you love movies, it's a great way to go see a movie. If you're just looking for something fun to do in the summer, it is just a fantastic way to go see, to go out and enjoy a summer evening. The first movie starts at dusk, at sunset, and then the second movie follows a few minutes after that. So if you get a double bill of two movies, and in the middle of summer when it doesn't get dark till 9:30, 10 o'clock, you can be out there till 2 and 3 in the morning. It is really, really a fun way to spend a day. It is $12 per adult, $6 for kids ages 4 to 12. 3 and under are free, and that is for two movies. So think of it that way. It's actually $6 per movie, and you're getting two movies for your money. Now, the other lake life thing that you have to talk about if you're talking about Monticello is, of course, Indiana Beach. Indiana Beach is an old school amusement park that has been there. It feels like forever, and by forever, this is their 100th year. And it had been run by one family for its entire history until a handful of years ago, when they finally were at an age where they needed to sell. It went through a couple of questionable years, and then an investor's not the right word, but a great new owner bought it out of the Chicago area, Gene Spackman, and he has, that's not right, the Spackman family is the original family. Gene Staples is the owner, and has revitalized it and just done a fantastic job with the place here. I'll just put up a little bit of their wish I understood what was going on here. I'm sorry. Getting to see behind the scenes today. So this is the movie off of their. They have They have some fantastic roller coasters, old school pinball arcade. They have a water park, bumper boats, some great carnival style rides. They have a brand new to them triple loop. There's the log flume. It is that quintessential like early 20th century boardwalk experience, and it's just up the road from us. I highly recommend it. It is only, we'll go from this time we'll go from the courthouse. Let's go Tippecanoe County Courthouse. 45 minutes, 29 miles. I mean, it's just up the street. A little faster if you speed. I'm not recommending that. So those are two fun lake life things to do, and it is absolutely fantastic. The 2026 season pass is only $78. That was their holiday sale price. The daily ticket, not for sale yet. I should have had this in front of me. But anyway, just a really, really fun place to hang out and have a good time. Take the kids. Like I said, there is both water park and amusement park all in one. So those are two of my family's favorite things to do in the Monticello area. But if you don't just want to visit the Monticello area, you can live in the Monticello area. And I thought tonight we would take a tour of 4 lake life homes for sale in the Monticello area. And we're going to hope, and we're going to pray that this image capture works. Otherwise, I'm going to be manually fixing it every time I need to go in. So let me get set here. Cross my fingers, cross my toes. It worked! Hallelujah! We're going to start here on 2308 North Sullivan Court in Monticello. And as always, I like to put it on a map, and especially for this, since we are talking about lake life. This one, these homes are on the lake. This particular one is on Lake Schaefer. You can see on the east side of Lake Schaefer, just almost across from Indiana Beach. And if we zoom out, for all of you who may not know where the heck it is that we're talking about, but you're familiar with Lafayette, here's Lafayette right down here. You can hop right up 433. You can hop right up 43 and on over. It's a quick blast to get up there. So if you want to commute every day, I have friends who do that, who live up that way and work in West Lafayette every day. But let's take a tour. 2308 North Sullivan Court in Monticello. This is a lake home on Lake Schaefer. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,284 square feet. And, you know, when you're talking about a lake home, you got to do the obligatory picture of the fantastic outside with the fire pit, and then the drone shot showing the home right here and your personal dock, and you can enjoy the sights and sounds of Indiana Beach right across the way here. So really fantastic location. You can actually take your boat to Indiana Beach. There's a boat dock back around here, just kind of next to the bridge over here. So you can get your season passes for about $70. Live here, take your boat across, go enjoy the roller coasters, water slides for a few hours, and take your boat back to your house. You got a boat lift for both a pontoon and or speedboat, and then a couple of wave runners. The lake gets crowded out there on the weekends, of course. And if you're living out there, you don't have to wait for the weekends. Lots of focus when you're on a lake house on the outside. You got a hot tub out on the composite deck. Big fan of composite decks. They last forever. Lovely brick construction. And we're going to move inside here in just a second. Indiana Beach again. Now, this is always an interesting thing about lake homes. Lake homes are all about facing the lake, so often the side that you drive up to, the side that you kind of might see most often as the homeowner, because that's what you're driving up to, is a little more utilitarian, a little more functional. So, of course, it's the garage, and as far as utilitarian lake homes, it's one of the more attractive road-facing sides, believe it or not. But then we move inside, and you have this, I was going to say aquatic feel, but this, this lake home feel, both in the color palette, but also in the batten boards and in the beams on the ceiling. Got the farmhouse sink, obligatory beach bar in a lake home. I do enjoy the fireplace. That is TV too high, of course. Many of these lake houses, to make the maximum amount of space on what are typically long and narrow lots, will utilize these spiral staircases to not take up any more square footage than necessary. Got the sliding doors everywhere here. We saw some in the living room and now in the primary bedroom as well. When you're in a lake home, it's all about access to the outside, access to the lake. On a day like today, you probably don't want to enjoy that so much, but even in the secondary bedrooms, you have sliding doors and private balconies outside. Moving into the bathrooms. Some lake houses have a feel of being more of a cottage. Some have a feel of being more of a home. I'm going to say that this one, for me, straddles the line over both. And it has touches of lake house while having the heft, if you will, of a full-time home. So you can utilize it either way that you want. You can live up there full-time, or you can make it your summer house. So that is 2308 North Sullivan Court in Monticello. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,284 square feet. Your own private dock with boat lifts and jet ski lifts right across from Indiana Beach. Currently listed at $625,999. And if you'd like to check out that home, or any lake home, or any home in the Greater Lafayette area, go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube and fill out the form. And then we're going to go on to the next home on our tour of lake homes here in the Greater Lafayette area. And this is this is why I talk about the Greater Lafayette area so much, is that it is Lafayette and West Lafayette and Tippecanoe County, but it's Carroll County and White County, and we're all part of a larger metropolis. Might sound like too big of a word, because Lafayette is by no means a metropolis compared to an Indianapolis or certainly a Chicago, but we are all part of one larger community. Yes, we are made up of communities. Yes, Brookston is a community, and Monticello is a community, and Lafayette and West Lafayette are communities, but we do make up a much larger whole community as well. And so I really feel that, the Monticello area is part of the Greater Lafayette area. And we're going to continue our tour of lake homes with 2636 North Peterson Drive in Monticello. This one is a 7-bed, 7-bath, 4,507 square feet, but this one is on an acre. And to have a lake home on an acre, they're pretty typically very long, narrow, small lots. But this one sits on an acre. That is kind of a lot of land. But let's put it here on the map. again, on the east side of Lake Schaefer, directly across from Indiana Beach. And if you're not familiar with the geography of the Greater Lafayette region, we'll zoom out, and here's Lafayette, West Lafayette, Monticello, and Indiana Beach up this way. 25 to 30 mile drive, 45-minute drive. Lots of people commute every day from the Monticello area down to down to Lafayette or West Lafayette, Purdue University, GE, Nanshan, lots of these places. There are some people that, that Monticello is their home, or perhaps they work in the surrounding towns and farms around Monticello. And then there are some that use it as a summer home or a weekend getaway. It's whatever works for you. But let's take a tour. 2636 North Peterson Drive in Monticello, 7 bedrooms, 7 baths, 4,507 square feet on 1 acre, and it has an in-ground pool. And it is a lake home, so we're going to spend a lot of time looking at the lake-facing frontage of the home, because that is the way that lake homes are designed. They are designed to envelop and encompass you in the lake, and you can see directly across Lake Schaefer from Indiana Beach. You get your own private boathouse, and boathouse, I mean real shingle roof, 3 slips there, and you can take your boat across to Indiana Beach, and Indiana Beach has a boat dock, and you can go into the park from the lake. But then we move into the home, and this one is very much home. Sometimes lake homes feel like cottages. Sometimes they feel like homes. Sometimes they straddle the middle between those two. This one is very much a home, but lots of hardwood floors in this one. Lots of space in the kitchen. 2 islands. Dining room again. We've got the hardwood floors in there. Move out to the den with TV too high, and out into the sunroom. And I always enjoy the pictures like this because we spend so much time in lake homes talking about the outside. And if you look closely, you can see the snow-laden ground and fence posts out there. So if you enjoy the look of a frigid winter, you can do that as well. Then we start moving into the bathrooms, into the bedrooms. Lots of French doors in this home. Lots of fireplaces, gas fireplaces. And like I said, lots and lots of French doors. This one has nautical touches in some rooms, lake touches, and then it's also got some touches of elegance. Continuing on, like I said, there are 7 bedrooms and 7 baths in this home. So if I went on and on about every bedroom, we would be here all day long. But then we move outside to the to the stone chimney, to the 2nd floor porch, and again, boathouse with 2 boat slips and a slip set up for wave runners and jet skis, so you can keep all your jet skis and toys out there. You can keep your pontoon, and you can keep a speedboat out there as well. Lots of room for toys, lots of room for entertaining on the inside. You got wet bar built into the living room. You have both a dishwasher and a wine fridge in the room. Great way to have summer parties. Steps down to the boathouse, and then these are the sunsets that you can enjoy because you face west. So that is 2636 North Peterson Drive in Monticello. That is 7 bedrooms, 7 baths, 4,507 square feet, a 3-bay boathouse, in-ground pool, currently listed for a cool $1,150,000. let's go take a tour. Go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube. I'll get you pre-approved with my friend Fahad, and then we can go tour this beautiful lake house, and then we can go enjoy summers there, because you will invite me out for the weekend, right? I'm kidding. About the inviting me out part, not about the going to see it and buying it part. Moving on our tour of lake homes here in the Greater Lafayette area, we're going to move on to another beautiful home. I'm going to get it pulled up here. So the first two were on the east side of Lake Schaefer. This one is on the west side of Lake Schaefer. We're going to look at 5259 East Willow Court in Monticello. 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 4,724 square feet, just a little under half an acre, 0.44 acres. And again, if you're not familiar with the Greater Lafayette area, if you're thinking about moving here, or you've not been here long, or you haven't gotten out of town much, let's talk a little bit about where this is. So here's the home on the west side of Lake Schaefer. Indiana Beach is right here, and if we zoom out, we'll see that Lafayette, West Lafayette is right down here. It's a 25-mile shot up the road, 40 to 45 minutes to get there. You can live there and work in the area. You can commute to Lafayette or West Lafayette. You can commute out to Logansport. I know people that do all of the above. Not one person that does all of the above. I know multiple people that do some of those things. So 5259 East Willow Court in Monticello, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 4,724 square feet, lake home on the west side of Lake Schaefer, 0.44 acres. And unlike many, many lake homes, this one has a beautiful elevation facing the road. So many times when you talk about lake house, the elevation facing the road is quite honestly ugly. Utilitarian might be the nice word for it. This is not the case. It looks like a regular home. So often when you're talking about lake houses, you're so focused on what the side facing the lake does that you sometimes forget. But here's the lake side, and it actually, again, looks like a regular house. Maybe a few extra windows than normal. You have an in-ground pool that is not super common here in Indiana and in the Greater Lafayette area, and your own personal hot tub as well. You got the sunroom there, and then the steps leading down to your personal dock with 2 lifts, so you can keep both a power boat and a pontoon boat, or you can keep your personal watercraft in there, your jet skis and wave runners. But just a little to the south of Indiana Beach, indeed, this is probably about a 5-minute walk to the ticket booth on the south side of Indiana Beach. So you can literally pop over there, or you can take your own boat. You can pop on your boat and just head over here, and there's actually a dock over here, that you can dock at and go into Indiana Beach from your boat instead of your car. But this is a lovely home. It's not just a lake house. It's not a cottage. It's not a retreat. This is a home. You got the lovely hardwood floors. You got the French doors. You move into the dining room with lots of space. You got a warm, welcoming kitchen. I love the brick. Well, I'll come back to that. Got the in-wall oven, gas stove in the island, and then we move downstairs to the downstairs living room, and we have the brick fireplace. Absolutely love it, with the built-ins, and then out to the sunroom, and of course bathrooms, utility spaces. 5 bedrooms in this one, so no lack of space for the entire family, for all of your friends to come visit. Has a modern shower. This one was built in 1988, so it is not brand new. It is not super old either. Just kind of zipping through the bedrooms, because when you have 5 bedrooms, they all kind of start to look like bedrooms. You got the dual basin sink, and some lake homes have that hint of lake home. I would say this bathroom is the one that has the most hint of it. Other than that, this is a regular home that happens to be on the lake. So that is 5259 East Willow Court in Monticello. 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 4,724 square feet on 0.44 acres, currently listed for $755,000. And if you want to go check that one out, go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube, fill out the form, and let's go get you into a lake house for this summer. And then the fourth home on our tour of lake homes here in the Greater Lafayette area takes us just a little further to the south to a home on Lake Freeman. Everything that we've looked at so far has been on Lake Schaefer. We are going to 7740 North Sandy Beach Drive in Monticello. This one's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,296 square feet. And I'm going to put it on the map here. There we go. So this is Lake Freeman. This is the southern of the 2 lakes. Lake Schaefer is the northern of the two lakes where Indiana Beach is, but this is Lake Freeman. And if we zoom out, we'll see here, this is Freeman, this is Schaefer up here, and we can actually just pan the map. Here's Lafayette, West Lafayette. From the middle of Lafayette, it's probably a 25-minute blast, maybe 30 minutes up to this home on the south side, on the southeast side of Lake Freeman, about 20-25 miles. Close, but gives you some distance as well. You can make this a summer cottage. You can live in it full time. You can commute into Lafayette or West Lafayette. I know people who do both, who sometimes, I know people that use their lake homes as lake homes in summer and weekend getaways, and I know people that live up there full time. But let's take a tour of 7740 North Sandy Beach Drive in Monticello. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,296 square feet. This one, like I said, on the west side of Lake Freeman. And I'm going to start with, it just looks beautiful and inviting from the outside. This is the lake facing frontage of the house. But it looks like it belongs in the landscape. It doesn't just stick out. And I guess that's, a testament to, the homeowners that have done such a great job making it feel that way. And then the detached garage over here is actually also included in the home as well, and we'll get to that in a minute. But there's your boat house, shed, whatever you want to call it. It's boat house, but it has a lift in there so you can store your pontoon or speedboat, and then you can also tuck a couple of personal watercrafts, some jet skis or wave runners in there. You can enjoy some great sunset shots because the house faces west. But then we move inside and we'll see a common feature of lake homes, spiral staircase. They use these to make maximum usage of square footage because, for lake houses, this one is not big and it's not small. It's about 1,300 square feet. It's not giant. It's not the smallest lake house out there either, but when you're only talking about 1,300 square feet, space matters. But this one has the feel of a light, airy lake cottage, villa, if you will, maybe. And again, that's got to do with color tones and color palettes, and that can be changed easily enough. But sometimes when you're talking about like this exposed brick wall and the lighter color palettes of the laminate flooring, it contributes to that look. You got that seafoam green in the bathrooms. Fairly common feature of lake houses is to have built-in bunk beds of this style, so you can stack them 3 deep like cords of wood in there. So instead of, you got 3 bedrooms, but you can get 3 kids. You can get 3 kids into 1 bedroom. Small, kind of almost galley-ish style kitchen. This one kind of, in my mind, floats between being, full-time house or lake house. It could be either for, for a couple or a small family. You could probably make it work as a full-time house. And for a larger family, it's a great lake getaway. And you get hot tub, nice steel post swing outside. But, and here's what's going to justify the price. Look at that pole barn. You got 3 garage doors. You can get your RV in there. You got the semi wraparound deck on the home, and you got a home that really just kind of fits the landscape. You can eat outside, get your own flagpole, view from the water, and here are the property lines. Hoping we would get a shot inside the garage. I couldn't remember if we had one or not. So that is 7740 North Sandy Beach Drive in Monticello. This is on the east side of Lake Freeman, the southern of the 2 lakes. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,296 square feet with a giant garage, pole barn. You can store your watercraft in there. You can do your hobbies in there. Currently listed $925,000. Let's go check that one out together. Go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube. Let me help you find home here in the Greater Lafayette area, whether that's one of our 4 lake homes that we've toured in White County on Lake Schaefer and Lake Freeman. If that's a home here in the Lafayette area, in Lafayette or West Lafayette, I would love to be your local Lafayette real estate resource of choice. Like I said, go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube and fill out that form, and I will be in touch with you. And don't forget, I'm Jeff Gooch with the Russell Company, powered by At Properties. Thank you so much for joining me on another Monday here on At Lafayette Live. We will see you again next Monday. And don't forget to go hit the like and subscribe button and check us out throughout the week on the Lafayette Reel with all of the content that we put up. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great week, everybody. Stay warm.